This is actually the best thing to happen to me in recent history. The time has come. Many of you know that I've dealt with a little company called Epidemic Sound. Epidemic Sound, according to Google, is a global royalty-free soundtrack providing company based in Stockholm, Sweden, and it was founded in 2009. So I want to make that clear off the bat. This is not a music company. This is a royalty-free soundtrack providing company. And what many other creators can tell you regarding Epidemic Sound is that they like to send a lot of copyrights. For the purpose of this video, a copyright claim or a copyright strike on YouTube must be filed manually. Companies, organizations, individuals may use tool-assisted assets in order to find offending content. However, because a copyright claim and a copyright strike are legal in nature, they must be submitted by a manual review. I have had copyright claims from this company dating back to October 16th of 2023 and before. Going back through my records, it does turn out that the October 16th interaction was me trying to reach out to them and say, look, you're going to need to provide me some paperwork. I feel I have been more than fair with copyright. I feel I have been more than understanding that if someone owns an IP, if someone owns the copyright to something, I am more than willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I need to see them actually put out some paperwork. I need to see that they factually own it, and I'm more than happy to oblige. And so we start jumping to about November, specifically November 11th is when I have this on record of me trying to apply for an Epidemic Sound license. The canned response that you'll hear via the Twitter feed, that you'll hear via email response is that, well, you have to buy our license. You must buy this license. If you are a license holder, you are allowed to use our music library. Seems reasonable. It's a subscription service that is about $299.98 USD per calendar year. And allegedly you get access to a bunch of music. It's important to know on YouTube that just because a YouTube video says copyright free does not mean that Epidemic Sound does not own that track. In fact, there are multiple instances where I have used a supposed copyright free track from an independent artist only for Epidemic Sound to say that they own this and YouTube to facilitate this copyright claim. So starting mid-November, I did try to petition for a license. Epidemic Sound has three options, and this is taken from their official site. The personal plan, which you may only monetize one channel per platform, is $9.99 USD per month. The commercial plan, which is $24.99 USD per month, allows up to 3 channels per platform. This is important. The third is to request a quote. Now, as somebody that does YouTube, as somebody that does have multiple channels, despite lack of uploads on them, and someone who is looking into more, clearly if I go with a 4th YouTube channel or beyond, the commercial plan will not satisfy this criteria. Anybody reasonable and logical and versed in basic critical thinking and sentence structure skills will understand this. However, in submitting my request for the third option, a custom plan, I waited approximately 45 days for any sort of response. This was multiple emails, multiple attempts, multiple tags on Twitter. This company refuses and has continued to refuse to even remotely give me the time of day. So now we jump ahead to about January 18th, where I finally get a response from a customer service agent of Epidemic Sound. The customer service agent is unable to allay my fears, and I am still pressing for legal and notarized documentation that they do own all of these IPs, all of these music tracks, all of these distribution rights that they say they do, because once again, I am more than happy to comply with a business, company, individual, or organization that owns something. I cannot post a 7-minute clip of Marvel The Avengers and not expect a copyright strike or a copyright claim. I think we can all be reasonable on this. This customer service agent tries to do their basic troubleshooting and we get nowhere. It is at this point that I say, due to the gravity of the situation, due to it being more than 30 to 45 days since my initial request to have a custom license agreement brokered, one that by my own admission, I would be paying multiple thousands of dollars a year for what I wanted. This includes not only production from Epidemic Sound, this also outlines that Epidemic Sound will not file any copyright claims as long as I am under the protection of that license for the duration of that license. If a fraudulent third-party claimant were to claim a song owned by Epidemic Sound, as Epidemic Sound does not step in on my behalf, I would be able to request all of the legal and notarized documentation that Epidemic Sound does own that paperwork, that own that IP, to be able to use in the YouTube copyright claims process. I think if you are paying for a service, paying for a license, it is completely fair to expect that they fulfill their end of the bargain. So this conversation continues with this manager, and this manager of Epidemic Sound states that, oh, the commercial plan will suit your needs. I respond to him, the commercial plan is only up to 3 channels per platform. I plan to do more. This is why I went with the custom option, a custom license inquiry. No, you do not, Kip. The commercial plan will fulfill all of your needs that you are saying.
What the fuck?
So having 3 channels already, and adding more, say if I were to add a Tactikip firearms focused channel.
Wait a minute!
You see how now I have 4 and not the required 3?
Dear God.
Epidemic Sound, the math ain't mathing. This is a manager in your organization, in your institution. They are representing your company in a legal capacity. They are a manager. They are a representative of your company. This representative as well says we do not have any personal identifying information of yours, Kip. To which I responded to them, yes, you do. The way a YouTube copyright claim works is that a company will send that claim. They have to manually review and submit that claim as it is a legal notice. In order for me to counterclaim this, what I must do is acknowledge that there are certain exceptions and non-exceptions to fair use, say what type of fair use it is, provide a summary which I regularly max out the character cap on, and lastly and most importantly for this, I must provide my legal name. That's the key here. In filing a counter copyright claim to Epidemic Sound, I must provide my full legal name. By definition, having worked in finance, that is personal identifying information. If I were to work at a bank and you were to call me and I don't have you verified, I cannot give you that full name. So, this goes to show this manager did not know what they were talking about. They apparently did not know how to add 3 + 1, and I also caught them in a blatant lie saying that they did not have any personal identifying information from me. This manager then proceeds to say, oh, well, we'll send you everything we have and a password. And since this interaction, I have also filed through the proper Epidemic Sound contact form multiple inquiries about why my credit card payment wasn't going through, about reporting this manager for blatantly lying to my face about personal identifying information, also not being able to add recommending the completely wrong product for what I'm doing, and overall having an incredibly unprofessional way of which they're doing things. So, with all of that out of the way, that leads us to the events of this morning. The video in question was a reaction to Brandon Herrera's Tokara video, and I get a notification that a song by the name of 200 Don'ts, DONT''S, is being legally and manually claimed by an organization, wouldn't you know it, called Epidemic Sound. My credit card statement reflects that I have paid my commercial license, which they did recommend me. All of my YouTube channels are linked to my Epidemic Sound account. I was told if I did not want to get copyright claims that I must sign up for this license. I have signed up for this license. I have paid for this license. I have dealt with managers that have lied straight to my face. Do you know what the meaning of fraudulent is? According to Google and by extension Oxford Language, adjective, obtained, done by, or involving deception, especially criminal deception, alternatively, unjustifiably claiming or being credited with particular accomplishments or qualities. In my personal and professional opinion, if I have paid for a license, if I have done everything you have asked me to, if your company and representatives have gone on the record saying that if I have this license, you will not copyright claim me because I am an active paying customer, then reasonably, you shouldn't be issuing copyright claims against me. I have played your game. I have done everything you have asked me to. So, with all of this information in mind, with the lack of communication, the refusal to communicate, the unclear policies and practices of Epidemic Sound and their managerial staff, their willingness to still copyright claim paying and active customers, which may or may not be retaliation for continued requests for legal and notarized documentation that you should possess to own these tracks or the rights to these tracks, I feel that these copyright claims from Epidemic Sound aren't genuine. I hope people are able to use my experiences with Epidemic Sound to formulate their own educated opinions on whether they should sign up for Epidemic Sound or if they feel that this is some other fraudulent company. Another citation I will throw in there is that the Better Business Bureau, the BBB, lists Epidemic Sound as a 1 out of 5 stars and that it is not BBB accredited. This is me, once again, telling Epidemic Sound that I want to see all legal and notarized documentation. You have my personal identifying information. I'm an active paying customer. Note that my wording is very careful in this. This is not me at this time saying that I will be seeking legal action. This is not me saying I have a lawyer. This is not me crossing over any sort of legal line like that. Epidemic Sound is the alleged copyright holder here. All I'm requesting is that they back that up and to communicate my own experiences that despite being a paying customer customer like they wanted, the Epidemic Sound will still file copyright claims against me. In summary, Epidemic Sound is not BBB accredited. Paying for an Epidemic Sound license, as I have, will not protect you from Epidemic Sound filing copyright claims against you, which once again is manually reviewed legal action served against you. Hopefully this was enlightening to some people. I have been waiting for this day forever, and now I have hard evidence to use as citation for Epidemic Sound's business practices. Epidemic Sound, I am more than happy to have a conversation. I am more than happy to facilitate a conversation. However, to me, all of your past redacted claims are still valid. We will need to address that. We will need to address the manager in question. And it is my goal on this platform not to be this negative Nancy, but to call bad behaviors and business practices out where I see them and work together for a common, better future. Let me know in the comment section your experience with Epidemic Sound. If you have somebody that is interested in Epidemic Sound or is on the fence about using Epidemic Sound, I would recommend that you share this with them. I would recommend that you have them look into other resources such as the BBB. And honestly, that is going to be it for me today. I was absolutely ecstatic getting that copyright claim, and I was super jazzed about this, and I couldn't wait to make this video.